I've really reached a point in my life where I realized something simple but painful. I was truly giving access to people to places in me they never earned. I was letting people walk all over me, walk into my heart, just do anything they want to, like it was a public space when it was supposed to be protected. I let people borrow pieces of me they didn't have the maturity to keep. But then I woke up like a great Sunday morning, and I'm no longer handing out free passes to people who come empty-handed. If you want a seat in my life, you have to bring integrity. You have to bring respect. You have to bring effort. I spent too long treating people like permanent fixtures when they were only meant to be passing lessons, and I had to own my part. I wasn't a victim. I was a volunteer. I stayed places long after God whispered it was time to leave. I kept trying to turn memories into reasons. I kept trying to turn patterns into possibilities. I kept mistaking proximity for value, but now I see it clearly. I am not hard to love. People just tried to love me in ways that required me to shrink. And guess what? I'm done shrinking. I am done bending. I am done letting people treat my soul like it is optional. My peace was suffering because I wouldn't admit what my spirit already knew. Some people only show up, y'all, when it benefits them. They offer you words when you need actions. They offer you promises when you need consistency. They offer you apologies when you need change. And I kept making room for it. I got to be honest about it. I kept thinking intentions were enough. I kept thinking potential was proof. I kept thinking that history meant loyalty, but history without growth is just repeating the same story with more pain. So now I am responding differently. I am not matching excuses. I am matching energy. If you come halfway, I stop meeting you in the middle. If you speak beautifully, but behave poorly, I stop trying to translate your contradictions. If you show me instability, I stop handing you emotional responsibility. I refuse to be a landing place for people who never learned how to stand on their own and never learned how to stand on truth. If you cannot show up whole, I'm not letting you show up halfway. There was a time when I confused closeness with connection. Just because someone was near me or I allowed someone to be in my life, I assumed they were for me. But closeness means nothing if the love is hollow. But remember, love is never hollow. So that means it was never love in the first place. Affection means nothing if the respect is missing. And loyalty means nothing if the heart behind it is inconsistent. I had to learn that protecting my peace does not make me cold. It makes me responsible. I started to realize that not every invitation deserved a response. Not every conversation deserved my vulnerability. Not every relationship deserved a second chance. I stopped pouring into people who only dripped back. I stopped explaining myself to people who had already decided not to understand me. I stopped sacrificing my emotional health to keep relationships alive that had no pulse. Now, the version of me you get is based on the version of you I get. If you bring honesty, I bring transparency. If you bring effort, I bring presence. If you bring peace, I bring warmth. But if you bring chaos, you will meet a locked door. I'm gonna be honest with you. I want something real this season, something steady, something safe, something that doesn't drain me just to keep it. I know what I want now. I know what I don't want now. I want relationships that feel like home, not the ones that feel like storms. I'm craving maturity. I'm craving accountability. I'm craving honesty that doesn't shake when the truth shows up. I am not entertaining people who do not know how to love without harming, because that is not love at all. I am not entertaining connections where I have to decipher your intentions. Love should not feel like a puzzle that I have to solve after every conversation. Friendship should not feel like a test that I constantly fail. If your presence feels heavy, I promise you I'm going to release it. If your energy feels unpredictable, I will distance myself. If your motives feel unclear, I will not investigate them. I am not the detective of other people's inconsistency. My job is to honor what God is building in me and not babysit chaos in someone else. Because closed doors or closing doors used to scare me. I used to think letting go meant losing. I used to think walking away meant quitting, but growth taught me something different, something potent, something amazing. Sometimes God protects you by removing people you kept praying would stay. Sometimes closure is not a goodbye. Sometimes closure is clarity, and I needed clarity more than I needed company. I needed truth more than I needed attention. I needed peace more than I needed people to stay who were never meant to go where I am going and where God has called me to be. I learned that some people liked me better when I was broken because my pain kept me predictable. My insecurity made me easy to control. My self-doubt made me overcompensate. But the healed version of me intimidates people who benefited from the unhealed me. So I stopped apologizing for evolving. I stopped dimming my light to protect someone else's comfort. I stopped slowing my growth to maintain connections that had already expired. And one of the biggest revelations I had was not everyone who has access to you deserves influence over you. Some people's opinion only carried weight because you placed it in their hands. And I had to take it back. I had to reclaim my voice. I had to reclaim my boundaries. I had to reclaim my identity from places that tried to rewrite it. God is the only author of my life. Self-love isn't soft. Self-love is spiritual discipline. It is emotional maturity. It is mental clarity. It is saying, I refuse to let your inconsistency become my insecurity. I refuse to let your confusion rewrite my confidence. I refuse to let your lack of effort become my lack of peace. If choosing myself makes you uncomfortable, you were benefiting from the version of me that didn't know my value. And that version, I promise you, no longer exists. So right now, I'm embracing a new kind of freedom that I've never experienced before, a freedom where my yes means something. It means yes. And my no means no. And I'm experiencing a freedom where my no protects something, a freedom where my boundaries honor the triune God who built me. I am surrounding myself with people who don't compete with my growth, but celebrate it. People who don't diminish my heart, but protect it. People who don't pressure me to shrink, but challenge me to rise. I finally understand that peace is not passive. Peace is intentional. Peace is earned. Peace is guarded. And I am guarding mine fiercely. The old me tried to keep everyone happy, being a people pleaser, an overextender. But the heal me is focused on keeping myself whole. I am choosing environments that don't drain me. I am choosing relationships that don't confuse me. I am choosing a future that doesn't require me to betray myself. And now that I know my worth, I refuse to explain it. I'm walking forward. I'm walking free. I'm walking in the grace that the triune God has intended me to walk in. And I'm walking with him, leading, and not my loneliness driving.